Find other great podcasts like this one at Podmoth.network.
I'll go into your van, witchy woman.
I'm Neve from Ireland.
And I'm Emily, living in Chicago.
And we have never met in real life.
Fortunately, you don't need to live on the same continent to make a spooky podcast.
So that's exactly what we did. We created Ronan Pine, our folklore, mythology, and spooky stuff podcast.
You can find us on your favorite platform, and we already have over 35 episodes ready to binge.
Don't forget the spooky shorts.
Right. We also have a bunch of short episodes if that's what you're into.
Come on, get spooky with us and frick yeah folklore.
What's up, frickin' weirdos? My name is Kevin, and I'm the host of Where the Weird Ones Are podcast. This is a conversational podcast based on guest experiences and encounters with paranormal, cryptids, aliens, spirituality, mental health, as well as conspiracies. If these topics interest you, you can find me on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, as well as YouTube and Rumble. If you have an encounter or an experience of something that you can't quite explain, I would love to hear from you. You can reach out to me at wheretheweirdonesare@gmail.com, where_the_weirdones_are on Instagram, and where the weird ones are on Facebook. I hope to hear from you, my friends. Question everything and stay weird.
Welcome to the Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast. I'm Deklan, the son.
And I'm Jane, the mom. This is the podcast where we talk about brutal crimes, bizarre occurrences, and get you drunk with cocktails themed around one of our stories. To lighten things up, we'd like to end our time with a chaser. Please keep in mind some of our stories might be upsetting to young or sensitive ears.
We love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to contact us by email or social media. You can find our contact info in the show notes for this episode. If you'd like to support us through Patreon, you can find us there at Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast, or use the link in our show notes.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Deklan?
I'm really hoping this is the last of our technical difficulties, but we'll see.
I'm crossing my fingers, but I'm also trying to not be too optimistic.
Yeah. If we can get something recorded today, that's all that matters.
Yeah, definitely. So what story do you have for us today?
I'm going to be talking about Carl Tanzler, and I also just realized I got our drink schedule mixed up, so this is going to be 2 bizarre stories for you guys today.
Oh, whoops.
And then 2 brutal stories tomorrow or next week.
My story could substitute for also being brutal because
Mine's
bad things happen, but
mine is also very brutal, but still I put it in bizarre category. But next week is definitely, well, that lady was pretty bizarre. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it could go either way. We'll go with that.
We'll just have those kind of stories. But to go with my story, I brought the cocktail Between the Sheets. The ingredients are 1 ounce of cognac, 1 ounce of white rum, 1 ounce of triple sec, 2/3 of an ounce of lemon juice. And the steps are to add all ingredients to a shaker with ice, shake well, and then strain into a chilled cocktail glass. And if you have an orange peel, you can burn or press it to release the essential oils into the drink. I did not do that, so I don't know that would matter all that much, but let's give it a shot and see how good or bad this cocktail is.
Let's try it. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah, and since it's our 67,000th attempt at recording this show today,
we know it's tasty.
It's very watered down on my side because I put ice in it to keep it chilled, which you don't necessarily have to do for the actual recipe anyway, but mine's very watered down. So it's really not that bad.
Now that it's watered down, though, it tastes a lot like lemonade. Maybe you just
Yeah, it does.
you just let it sit for a little while and marinate.
Let it sit there and and marinate. So my story today is about another weird neurological condition, but I had never heard of it before. I'm going to warn you that it will probably make you feel uncomfortable and maybe a little bit paranoid, because when I was researching it, that's how I felt. So
Okay.
I apologize in advance. I think we've all had nights that we had difficulty sleeping, maybe even several nights in a row. Usually it's caused by stress or something we did in our lifestyle, or maybe just an uncomfortable environment. But imagine that it was caused by a genetic mutation and that it got progressively worse. I'm talking about fatal familial insomnia, or FFI. Insomnia is a common sleep disorder characterized by the inability to fall asleep, stay asleep, or get restful sleep. It often causes daytime fatigue, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. But that's your average, everyday, common insomnia, not FFI. Fatal familial insomnia is different because it's caused by a genetic mutation, which, as a genetic mutation, it cannot be changed. It is an inherited neurodegenerative prion disease that gradually damages the part of the brain involved in sleep, movement, cognition, hormone regulation, and the automatic functions that keep the body stable.
So it's a prion disease, so you can't.
Yes.
There's no cure, I'm assuming.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes. Let's start with the good news, though. It's extremely rare, with the true number of people being affected difficult to determine. Some sources estimate it could affect 1 to 2 people per million worldwide. So that's very, very, very rare. But other sources claim that number to be even smaller. So from extremely rare to just downright nearly impossible. It's believed that only about 50 to 70 families carry the genetic mutation. However, it is an autosomal dominant mutation, meaning that only one parent has to have it in order for it to be passed on to a child and for it to develop into symptoms. When one parent carries the disease-causing mutation, each child has a 50% chance of inheriting it and being born with it.
So this is something, it's genetic, you said, right? It's
Yes.
not like you developed this.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Oh God.
Yeah. Typically it is you're born with it. So let's just hope that's always the case. And of course, because it's genetic, that chance of inheriting it, the probability starts over with every pregnancy. So 50% chance if you've got one parent that has it. Having one child who inherits the mutation does not make the next child more or less likely to inherit it. The mutation is in a gene that is responsible for creating prion proteins in the brain. We talked about another prion disease in episode 46 when we discussed chronic wasting disease that was in deer.
That was like my next question, because that spreads. So
this does not.
Okay.
You cannot give it to someone unless it is your child and they are born with the genetic mutation.
See, the only like diseases like that I know of are like chronic wasting and mad cow.
Yes.
So I've never heard of like a genetic prion disease.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
Okay.
Yeah. Under normal circumstances, genes provide instructions for producing proteins. Proteins are made from chains of amino acids that must be assembled and folded into specific shapes before they can work properly. But when there is a mutation in the gene that performs that function, the instructions for building the protein are inaccurate. The abnormal prion proteins fold incorrectly. These misshapen proteins can influence other prion proteins to change shape as well, beginning a chain reaction that damages brain cells. In the case with FFI, the prion proteins build up on the thalamus of the brain, which causes some degeneration of the thalamus. The thalamus is located deep inside the brain and acts partly as a relay station between different brain regions. It helps regulate sleep and wakefulness, awareness, sensory information, movement, and several automatic body functions. As the misshapen prion proteins continue to damage the brain, the sleep cycle becomes progressively more disrupted, and the additional neurological symptoms begin to appear. The symptoms of FFI usually worsen over time as the disease progresses, and they may include difficulty sleeping that gets worse over time. So even though I'm a bad sleeper, Dad's a bad sleeper, you're a bad sleeper, we have bad nights or a few nights of bad sleeping, but usually we also have good nights of sleeping. So I don't think any of us have the gene.
Yeah, but most of those are induced with some form of medication, whether it be melatonin or
right, but that doesn't really help people with FFI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll get to the treatments later, but to continue with the symptoms, loss of deep restorative sleep, nervous system overactivity, which can include high blood pressure, difficulty regulating body temperature, elevated heart rate, excessive sweating, and anxiety, which now that I read that out loud could also be menopause. So I hope that I don't have it. But I did sleep really well last night. So
okay.
I'm banking on that. People that have symptoms also can have memory loss and confusion, hallucinations, problems with balance and coordination, slurred speech, difficulty swallowing, and involuntary muscle contractions.
That's a normal thing when you're going to sleep, though, right? The twitching?
Yeah, but this is all the time.
Oh, like when you're not
like
just driving to work or something, you get.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like spasms, like whole body twitching. And
so I was gonna say, I thought that was normal to just twitch right before you fall asleep.
No, this is all the damn day.
Okay.
Potentially. The memory loss and hallucinations can get progressively worse, with dementia being the end result for many patients. As that damage progresses, the person gradually loses the ability to produce normal patterns of sleep. This does not always mean that the person remains completely awake every minute of the day. People with FFI may drift into brief periods that resemble sleep or experience dreamlike states, but they increasingly lose normal, deep, restorative sleep. The symptoms can develop over a broad age range, which can occur anywhere from 20 years old to 70 years old.
And just one day it snaps in your brain or something?
And it starts to just progressively get worse, with the average age of onset between 45 and 55. Testing for FFI can include a sleep test, which involves measuring brain activity, eye movements, breathing, and heart rates, as well as muscle activities, an EEG or brain scan for electrical activity, analysis of the fluids surrounding the brain and spinal cord, or CSF, imaging like an MRI, CT, or CT, but functional brain testing like a PET scan or a SPECT scan is more helpful. Blood tests looking at organ functioning, and of course, genetic testing looking for the mutated gene. Treatment is a bit tricky and includes some sleeping medication, vitamin supplementation, and therapy.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hey, what
That came. I think everyone got to hear that.
Okay.
I think that came through pretty clear.
Yeah.
We can leave that in or edit that out.
Yeah.
The cats
A little
meeting
bit of cat
and
fight.
yeah, just a little
Yeah,
tiny cat fight.
Lulu's being rude.
Oh, I doubt that.
It's her. It's all Lulu this time.
It's all okay.
Lulu, come on.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
Okay. Step back a bit because I think I left off in the middle of a sentence.
I might just have to let him go at it.
Well, I could lock Himmy in here with me.
That's fine. I'll go grab Lulu.
Okay.
Lulu's tail is very puffed up right now.
Oh, is she upset?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. We're good to go now.
Okay. I gotta get my phone back open. Okay. Oh shit. Where did I lost my place. Okay. This may be a duplication, so you might have to check the editing. Treatment is a bit tricky and includes some sleeping medication, vitamin supplementation, and therapy. But unfortunately, the treatment is mostly just supportive, meaning it's there to help with managing the symptoms and make you more comfortable, but it doesn't cure the condition. It can possibly prolong the person's life by a few months. However, nobody really knows how long it can help. Since this is a genetic condition, there is no cure at this time, but maybe in the future there could be like some gene therapy. You know, I've been hearing different things talk about like correcting mutated genes after the fact. I don't know if that would help. I don't know if they've even looked into that, but lifespan after diagnosis varies from 7 months to 3 years, with the average being about 1.5 years. Death may result from complications of the progressive neurological disease, including infections, swallowing problems, malnutrition, cardiac instability, or failure of the body's automatic regulatory systems. As if all those details weren't bad enough, in some rare cases, the gene mutation happens spontaneously. So there's no family history of anybody else having the gene mutation, and it just suddenly goes, guess what? However, I don't know if that can happen like in utero, if that's where the gene mutation happens, or if the gene mutation happens after, you know, you're born and an adult and something spontaneously. I don't know. They don't really know what causes that or how often. In those cases, the name is changed to sporadic fatal insomnia. Diagnosis of either FFI or SFI sometimes doesn't occur until after death, when the brain can be examined more thoroughly. But it does, both of them do lead to death, unfortunately.
Well, that is unfortunate. That's
I know.
terrifying.
I know. So now every time I have a night where I don't sleep well, I'm like, do I need to go get genetic testing to see if I have this mutated gene?
That's going to help you sleep really good that night, I bet.
Mhm. Yep. For sure.
Okay. Let's talk about Carl Tanzler. Carl Tanzler, or George Carl Tanzler, was born on February 8th, 1877, in Dresden, Germany. Tanzler grew up in the German Empire, but at some point traveled to India and later to Australia just before the outbreak of World War I. During his stay in Australia over the course of World War I, Tanzler was kept with other Germans in Australia in an internment camp, supposedly for his own protection and safety because of his German ethnicity. He attempted and failed to escape by constructing a ship. He was released shortly after the end of World War I, but since he was not allowed to move back to Germany, he instead left for the Netherlands. Around 1920, following his return to Germany, Tanzler married Doris Schaefer. Together they had 2 children, Aisha and Clarista Tanzler.
Interesting names.
Yes. Sadly, Clarista died of diphtheria.
Oh.
Yeah, when she was about 10. Tanzler immigrated to the United States from Germany in 1926, sailing from Rotterdam to Havana, Cuba. And from Cuba, he settled in Zephyr Hills, Florida, where his sister had already immigrated to. And he was later joined by his wife and daughters. He eventually left his family behind in Zephyr Hills in 1927. He took a job as a radiology technician at the U.S. Marine Hospital in Key West, Florida, under the name Carl von Kossel.
Okay.
During his childhood in Germany and later while traveling briefly in Italy, Tanzler claimed to have been visited by visions of a dead purported ancestor, Countess Anna Castina von Kossel, who revealed the face of his true love, an exotic dark-haired woman.
Oh.
He was convinced these visions were messages from Anna Constantina von Brockdorf from the dead. He was infatuated with her physical appearance, dark hair, and beauty, because Anna Castina von Brockdorf was also known as the Countess of Kossel. He adopted the name Carl Tanzler von Kossel, which he preferred to be called by. That's
This
why.
guy keeps changing his name.
Yes.
Who's he hiding from?
I don't know, but back then I guess you could just do that.
You're just like, I'm going to go
great
by
records.
Bob Smith now.
Yeah. So on April 22nd, 1930, while working at the Marine Hospital in Key West, Tanzler met Maria Elena Marago de Hoyas, a local Cuban-American woman who had been brought to the hospital by her mother for an examination. Tanzler immediately believed her to be the beautiful dark-haired woman revealed to him in his earlier visions. And by all accounts, Elena was viewed as a local beauty in the Key West area. Elena was subsequently diagnosed with tuberculosis, a disease typically fatal at the time and which eventually would claim the lives of almost all of her immediate family.
Oh, geez.
So she probably got black mold in her house or something.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
if all of her immediate family died from it too, there's some kind of environmental
tuberculosis back then. I think I don't think your environment mattered a whole hell of a lot. I think you got it. Yeah.
Tanzler attempted to cure Elena with a variety of treatments, including x-rays and other medical equipment that were brought to the Hoyas' home. Tanzler also showered Elena with gifts of jewelry and clothing and allegedly professed his love to her, but no evidence has surfaced to show that she reciprocated any of his affection.
Oh, okay. So she was like, creepy dude.
Despite Tanzler's best efforts, Alina died of tuberculosis at her parents' home in Key West on October 25th, 1931. Tanzler paid for her funeral, and with the permission of her family, he then commissioned the construction of an above-ground mausoleum in the Key West Cemetery, which he visited almost every night.
What? Oh.
One
Okay.
evening in April 1933, Tanzler crept through the cemetery where Alina was buried and removed her body from the mausoleum, carting it through the cemetery after dark on a toy wagon.
No.
He transported her body to his home and reportedly said that Alina's spirit would come to him when he would sit by her grave and serenade her corpse with his favorite Spanish song.
Question.
Yes.
How long had she been dead when he took her body home?
At least 2 years, because this was in April 1933.
Oh, 2 years?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
He also said that she would tell him to take her from the grave.
Of course she did.
Tanzler attached the corpse's bones with piano wire and fitted the face with glass eyes.
No.
As the skin of the corpse decomposed, Tanzler replaced it with silk cloth soaked in wax and plaster of Paris.
No.
As the hair fell out of Alina's decomposing scalp, Tanzler fashioned a wig from her hair, which she had previously obtained from her mother. Tanzler filled the corpse's abdominal and chest cavity with rags to keep the original form, and dressed Alina's remains in stockings, jewelry, and gloves, and kept the body in his bed.
Oh, no.
Tanzler also used copious amounts of perfume, disinfectants, and preserving agents to mask the odor and stall the effects of the corpse decomposition.
You'd have to do something.
Yeah.
Holy Oh.
In October 1940, Alina's sister, Florinda, heard rumors of Tanzler sleeping with the disintegrated body of her sister.
No.
She confronted Tanzler at his home, where Alina's body was eventually discovered.
Could you even imagine?
I could not. But he was also caught dancing with her corpse in front of the open windows of his home.
Oh.
Yeah. Could you imagine that being your neighbor?
No. So, I mean, we have weird neighbors, but they
don't dance with the corpse. No. They at least keep their blinds closed for that.
If I were walking by and I saw somebody dancing with a corpse, I would think
I don't think you'd know.
I would not think it was a corpse.
He's covered her with rags.
Right.
And
I would just think that he had like a blow-up doll or a scarecrow, that he was like, oh, I'm really lonely and I created a blow-up doll.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Florinda notified the authorities, and Tanzler was arrested and detained.
Oh, thank God.
Tanzler was psychiatrically examined and found mentally competent to stand trial on charges of wantonly and maliciously destroying a grave and removing a body without authorization. After a preliminary hearing on October 9th, 1940, at the courthouse in Key West, Tanzler was held to answer on the charge, but the case was eventually dropped.
What?
He was released as the statute of limitations for the crime had expired.
Because it had been 7 years.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a statute of limitations on something like that. Those are extenuating circumstances. If he just removed the body, took it out of the grave, and left it alone, that's one thing. This is not okay.
No, it's not.
What the? Oh my God. Please tell me something bad happened to him.
Shortly after the corpse's discovery by authorities, physicians and Shortly after the corpse's discovery by authorities, physicians and pathologists examined Elena's body and put it on public display at the Dean Lopez Funeral Home, where as many as 7,000 people viewed it.
What?
Elena's body was eventually returned to the Key West Cemetery, where the remains were buried in an unmarked grave in a secret
Good.
location to
Good.
prevent further tampering. Her body was said to have been dismembered and placed in a metal box. Portions of the original memorial plaque commissioned by Tanzler and affixed to Elena Hoyo's mausoleum has been reassembled and are on display at the Martello Gallery, Key West Art and Historical Museum in Key West, if you want to go see that.
Oof.
In 1944, Tanzler moved to Pasco County, Florida, close to Zephyr Hills, where he wrote an autobiography that appeared in the pulp publication Fantastic Adventures in 1947.
Oh my God.
His home was near his wife Doris, who helped to support Tanzler in his later years. Tanzler received United States citizenship in 1950 in Tampa. Separated from his obsession, Tanzler used a death mask to create a life-sized effigy of Elena and lived with it until his death at age 75 on July 3rd, 1952. Wow. His body was discovered on the floor of his home 3 weeks after his death, and he died under the name Carl Tanzler, reportedly at the effigy that he had built.
His wife helped support him?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love your dad so much. But if I found out that he had done even half of what that guy did, I'd be like,
yeah,
bro, you're dead to me. Like, no, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm going to encourage
rebuilding the body of a dead person seems like a little, some kind of line was crossed somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Ugh.
Yeah.
And nothing bad happened to this guy.
Nope.
Yeah. That's disappointing.
Well, do you have a chaser for us to make things better?
Yes, I do. My chaser is the Netflix show I Will Find You. It is the most recent Harlan Coben book adaptation. And it is the limited series on Netflix. And it is fan-frickin-tastic. I highly recommend it. I love anything and everything that Harlan Coben does. And this is, I think, the first one of his Netflix series that was actually done in the US. All the other ones have been overseas somewhere in the Europe area. Some of like Poland and Spain and different ones. But this one was done in the US and it was great as always. So
awesome.
Yeah. What's your chaser today?
I have a watch recommendation for an Amazon movie called The Black Box. It's the 2022 movie. Or no, 2020 actually, I think. But it's about a guy who loses his wife in a car accident and has terrible amnesia afterwards. And he does a new brain study, or like one of those new medical studies, and some weird things start happening to him. It's like a psychological thriller / kind of horror almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good movie. I didn't have high hopes going into it, but it surprised me.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And I think that brings us to the end of today's very troubleshooting episode.
Right.
So thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes.
I'm glad this recording worked this time.
Same. I was really starting to get concerned.
Love you, Mom.
Love you too, bud. Bye.
Hey, friends. Thank you for supporting our podcast. Please share our show with your brutal and bizarre friends. Give us a Boozy follow on your favorite podcast platform. If you're feeling extra generous, we'd appreciate a 5-star rating or review as well. But maybe do that sober so all the letters are in the right place.
You can find all our contact information in the show notes. We love hearing from you, and if you're interested in helping us stock the bar for our future Boozy episodes, you can find our Patreon link in the show notes as well.